Hi guys, today is the last day to apply for the case study contest at IIM Bangalore. So in case you want to apply, it's an individual participation. You can participate on your own. Registration fees is 200 rupees. Once you participate, once you join, students will be divided into the teams of 3 or 4 people who have to submit a one-slide solution for their case. Case will be given tomorrow, that is after 4th of March, or tomorrow maybe after uh, because we have extended the date. They have extended a date. So tomorrow, 7th of March, could be the last date for the submission of the for your division into team. So you will be divided into team and you can participate. Fine. So why you need to participate? Because of the tag name of IIM Bangalore on the resume. Yeah. See, you might have participated in the inter-college event at undergraduate level, but even though you're from IIT or you're from NIT, but participating in the inter-college engineering college event is not a huge impact. Here you're participating in the case study contest of IIM Bangalore. And if you are doing your MBA or if you're planning to do your MBA, there should be two pointers on your resume from IIMs. Participation in inter-college event winning or participation should be there on the resume. Alright, so today the last day. So please do apply in case you want to apply. Yeah. So the link, everything is given in the description box to participate. All the best.
Staff of Cetking, I'm over here on behalf of Ravneet sir. And today we have Anvishka ma'am and Krishna Vadhava sir. Both are IIM Bangalore aspirants. Anvishka ma'am, a brief introduction. She has completed her graduation from IIM Bhubaneswar, has worked for 2 years in Goldman Sachs. And Krishna Vadhava sir, same, he is also an IIM Bangalore aspirant. So he is a CA at rank 45 and a management consultant. Okay, so just give me a brief introduction about your life in IIM Bangalore currently.
All right. And Rishika, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. No worries. So I completed my engineering from IIT BHU before I joined IIM Bangalore, and I worked at Goldman for 2 years. Life at IIM Bangalore is well, it's not very different from any other college life that you've gone through, but it's much more packed because there's a lot of activities happening in 2 years. There's a lot of pressure also because maybe the stakes are high, and definitely the pool of people you have here is really, really good. Very smart people. You learn a lot from your peers. So basically a lot of extracurriculars, a lot of acads, and a lot of competitions packed together is what I would say IIM Bangalore is for me.
Okay, and what about you?
Yeah, even I would absolutely second with Anveshik on that. One thing I would like to highlight, the best part about the institute to me essentially is the flexibility which it offers in terms of the curriculum, wherein we as students here at IIM Bangalore are actually able to optimally channelize our time, not only to academics, but also to other aspects which Anveshika mentioned, be it like the case comms, peer interactions, or doing entrepreneurial things. So I believe this is what essentially differentiates IIM Bangalore, and I am absolutely loving this flexibility aspect of the institute.
Okay,
And obviously, yeah, the lush green campus. If I hope some of you get a chance to come here. So lush green campus and the intellectually stimulating environment which it offers truly makes it the place to be.
And how's your daily routine over there in IIM Bangalore?
I'll start. Daily routine is basically we have morning classes. Mostly when the classes are going on 9, we start, and the classes go on till about 5 or 6. And between we have breaks. Obviously, we have 4 classes with like 1.5 hours each, with a break of between, let's say, 30 minutes if it's offline. And then in the evening, you have a lot of assignments. There are extracurricular on the campus in terms of people pursue their hobbies, be it maybe through case competitions or be it sports for themselves, whatever you like. Like there are n number of clubs to join. So you definitely have those. Then you also have your assignments and group projects to work on, which keeps you occupied till a fair part of the night. And and that's how the day ends for me.
Yeah, I would like to highlight a bit of brighter side. Brighter side is that classes are only from Monday to Thursday mostly, right? So you have kind of weekends or Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Weekend.
Yeah, Sorry.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Friday, Saturday, Sundays, essentially there are no classes. That is where you can work on, let's say, a CAD or whatever you wanna like, or whatever you like. But the thing is that rest assured, the life is super fast. It's quite hectic. We barely get to sleep. So it's very engaging, enriching, and hectic, I would say, at the same time.
Okay, since I think that you are IIM Bangalore 2021 batch, right?
Yeah, we joined in
Yes.
So like 2021 batch, so you must have given CAD in the year 2020, right? During that COVID times. Am I right?
Right.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So during that COVID times, when I think that was the first time when CAD changed the portion. So what was your strategy and women's strategy for that portion change?
Okay. So what basically happened was like the way the whole format is structured, the time, more than the content of the paper, I would say, is not a very big change. The content still remains the same, whether you're talking about aptitude, literature, or English VA, and then be it logical reasoning DILR. The content remains the same, but the whole, when you change the format, because if you go by CAT, to me, CAT was never just about the content key. Okay, this is something that I know. It is more about how much are you able to do in the given period of time. So the whole focus of CAT shifts when the format of the paper shifts, even though the content remains the same. My strategy to adapt to that was keep practicing fast per question timing. Focus on how much time do you take per question. That is more important. It's not necessarily like 45 minutes, how much are you are able to do, or 1 hour, how much you're able to do. If you're focusing that every question I'm doing and you're able to leave out the right questions, because that was the major problem that I faced. I used to get stuck on a question and keep doing it while the time ran out. So leaving out, basically picking up the right question that you can do, is one of the skills that was the most important for me when the pattern changed.
Yeah, even I would say, since the same entire 3 hours were condensed to, let's say, 2 hours, I believe accuracy and timing, the importance of accuracy and timing even amplified. So it was very important for us to pick and choose the right question, do attempt the question when we are like pretty much confident of that question, because that is reflected in the results as well. Because you would see like percentile ranging with a very narrow margin score as well. So with format change, I believe accuracy and timing, the importance of both amplified big time.
Okay, so just can you give us a brief introduction about your verbal strategy?
VARC, you're saying verbal strategy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So see, I see a lot of people struggle, like they are very good at their aptitude, but they face a lot of problem when it comes to VRC. And this also happens with a lot of engineers that I see, because somehow their soft skills, or they never focused on their VRC abilities. So for me, mostly it is, see, VRC ultimately is a very long-term, it cannot be learned in a day. It's not something that you can prepare in 1 month. It takes time to develop the capability, be it grammar, intuition, the understanding of the paragraphs. For me, it was reading. It sounds very repetitive. Everybody will tell you the same thing, but it's about reading as much as you can. And definitely the paper was very, very tough. So at that point of time, you need to focus on what you're good at, whether you're good at reading the paragraphs or you're good at solving those jumbled paragraph questions where you have to pick the odd one out, etc. And stick to that. Go with that first, then come back to the paragraphs and pick up the easy ones if that works for you. For me, I was very good at the paragraphs, interpretations, etc. So I used to start from there, but then your passage reading has to be very fast. The reading speed has to be very fast. So ultimately, it all boils down to how much you read, and it takes time to develop.
Yeah, even I would recommend, reading different kind of things, because I don't think there's particular you can specialize in VARC by referring to particular set of books or something. You have to read diverse things, be it, let's say, novels, newspapers, articles, blogs, or the standard CAT material. That's prime. And one thing which I would like to say is, like, I believe there's a bit of science associated to VARC as well. because if you diligently study, or let's say essentially get a sense of VRC, there's a bit of science, especially when it comes to, let's say, jumbled questions on jumbled paras and similar stuff. So if you are able to crack that science, I believe the accuracy, as I mentioned before, shoots up big time in VRC as well. So one would be, let's say, reading all different kind of materials, and second would be to figure out that science behind certain type of questions to focus on your accuracy. At least that are the quick wins.
Okay, and we just have a question over here. Students are asking that what was your percentile in that?
Yeah. Okay. So I got 99.75.
Okay.
That, yeah.
Yeah. So Anveshika is like, she's like super good when it comes to this. My percentile was quite less. I don't remember mine, but it was somewhere around 97. So mine was primarily profile driven, because Ahmedabad and Bangalore focuses a lot on profile. So my was more of profile driven, but my percentile was somewhere around 97.
Yeah, this is I like to highlight, like most of us often focus on the percentile, and we think that if you get 100 percentile, you've cracked the code. I mean, it might sound a bit shattering your dream kind of a thing, but when it comes to CAT and selections to IIMs, it depends on your profile. No matter what anybody tells you, no matter what, it boils down to your profile a lot. It's not just going to be your percentile. It's not just going to be a job. It's not just going to be one thing. It is going to be a holistic overall view, like whatever you've done till now, how honestly and how well you've done it. So if you're thinking like 100 percentile is it and I should focus only on that, I would suggest no, it's not. And if you do not score 99 or 99.99, it is not that is going to decide whether you get a call or whether you get selected. It's going to be heavily driven on your profile. So work on that also.
Okay, so like, would you like to say something about the GDPI conducted in while selections in IIMs? Because I think GDPI is still going on for IIMs. So just give a strategy for GDPI for students.
Yeah, so GDPI, see, in our time, what happened was because everything was mostly online. So there was not a lot of GDPI happened. I think GD did not happen. PI happened. GDs in most colleges did not happen. And there was a written round, obviously the VAT happened. So, but while we were preparing, the whole point of GD or PI is mostly, see, GD you focus on, they'll be given a topic. So it's how you speak among a group, how well structured you can be when it comes to writing also, or when it comes to speaking also. So many people go on with a lot of points to speak in a GD, and they are mostly shouting it and making a fish market out of it. But when you are in a good GD, it is about your professionalism also, and what points you're going and what structure. So try to, if you start first, or even if you start in the middle, try to structure it. If the whole GD is going vary, like I have been sometimes, like in college also, we do a GD for placements, etc. So you're often told that if you see that there is no structure in the GD and people are going haywire, try to bring that structure into that GD. Like that would be one tip from my side towards the GD specifically. Badhava can add.
Yeah, specifically relating to GD, I would say structure, as Anveshika mentioned, is very important. At the same time, quality, because people don't understand, it's about the quality. It's not about quantity. It's not about, let's say, you're making 5 arguments in a, let's say, 10-minute GD. Even if you're making 1 or 2 arguments, and those arguments are like quite powerful, the people who are on the other side of the table actually notices that. And that is what really matters. So you need to optimally position yourself. You cannot be too aggressive or too passive in GDs. You have to be like top with quality, and at the same time, as Anveshika mentioned, structure big time important. Like it has to be, everything has to be like structured. And if other people are not, as Anveshika mentioned, if you feel it's becoming a fish market, you be that person and try and bring that structure to the table, which would be highly appreciated and will enhance your chances to making it through the next rounds.
Okay. So Krishna, there was just a question from a student that earlier you said that your profile was very strong. So I just want to ask you that if there is an average student, so what can the student do to make his profile strong? Can you just elaborate something on that?
Right. I don't think IIM Bangalore found my profile to be strong, but yeah. So to be very honest, if you see, I had a very good academic background, or let's say enriched background, be it 10th, 12th, grad, post-grad, or my chartered accountancy as well. So that was one of the key drivers. Apart from that, work experience, as I believe Anvisha also comes from a very quality work experience background. So at times there are trade-offs for people to, let's say, choose between jobs or, let's say, sit home and study for CAT. I know it's very individualistic, but on a generic level, I don't think one should do that. Please pursue job if you're getting a good quality job, and don't bank entirely, let's say, or let's say having a career gap or something like that. That is important. And so coming to next, what's in your hand? I believe whenever I got free time, I used to write a lot. So I have my own blog. So you can talk about, let's say, these things in your interviews, which are quite, let's say, intriguing, or professors or whosoever are taking your interview finds very fascinating. So just see how constructively you can find your hobbies and actually pursue them. Even small things matter. Reflect back on your lives. I'm sure everyone has something or the other thing in their life. Just try and bring that onto the table. So I remember I did a lot of writing, blog writing. I was good at sports. My academics were always in check. My work-ex was good. What else? Yeah, all those things. Small things makes a big thing eventually.
Okay, so one thing you can add to it, say if you're a fresher right now, if you're in your college, you can focus on your grades right now. You can do a bit of courses which can add to some extra knowledge. It will also help you while you're giving your GD, VAT, PI, etc. And it will also help you to enhance something on your CV. So you can do a bit of courses in the fields that you are interested in. You can definitely work on your grades. If you've already passed out from college, I would suggest take some time on your work experience. Try to do good there, try your hands on different things, and as Krishna pointed out, develop hobbies, a lot of hobbies. Probably not, like, find what works for you and try to do something different there, because it's going to be a holistic experience. Like, you should also enjoy what you're doing. You can take some certifications also if that is something you are focused on and you want to talk about, to enhance your skill. It can help in your job also. So, and yes, career gap is really, it's difficult to defend at the end of the day. So take it only when it is absolutely necessary. If you really want to work on your score that much that you really want to take a gap, think through it. If you have a chance at a job, I would say do the job.
And now you were just saying something about the courses. So can you just give a brief idea, like 2-3 courses which can be done during the examinations also and during the GDPI grounds also?
Yeah, so see, depends on what you're interested in. I was more interested like in finance, etc. People do CFA while they're working. If you have time right now, let's say there is a 1 year or 1.5 year left before you're going to appear for CAT, you can register, you can go through CFA. CFA helps because it builds a bit of your base. But apart from that, it's a costly investment also. If you want to do any other course, there is Bloomberg's course on finance. That is something, now these are specific to finance. Then there are courses in operations also. I think people do Six Sigma courses which help them there.
Yes.
Yeah, so these are like professional courses which you can take up that can help you.
Yeah, to add to it, even I remember I did a couple of courses during before my interview and after CAT. I believe I did some business modeling from Wharton online. And then I also did some KPMG Digital Academy. So again, I also wanted to go into finance, but the point which I'm trying to drive is there are a lot of free courses available as well, good courses. So let's say if you want to go in consulting, you can have similar courses around consulting or Prodman or operations. So basically, you all in contemporary times, you have a lot of free content available. Just make sure you are genuinely interested in those courses, because a superficial knowledge won't lead you a long way. If it has to be specialized, in-depth knowledge. So if you're genuinely passionate about a particular domain, please go ahead with courses. It will help big time during your interviews.
Okay, and after the life at IIMs and your daily routine and all, I've heard that the hostels are combined over there in IIM Bangalore, like girls and boys hostels are together. Is it true?
Yeah. So basically, in most of the
How's the life over there?
the hostel life is great. Like it's very different from undergrad. At least it was for me, because in IITs the rules are very strict. It's very less fluid. In most of the IIMs, I think the hostels are very fluid. There is no
Yes,
restriction
exactly.
and no timings. You can move in and out because it's required. You see, it's everything is so much focused on group and peer learning that you really cannot restrict people and tell them that this is the end time, we cannot meet after this. So yeah, that ways it's pretty chill. There are a lot of stuff happening in every college has their own culture. So at
Yeah.
IIM Bangalore, we have a mid culture where like our hostels have like the first floor of our hostel has big mids which are used for partying and yeah, so a lot of party keeps happening across the year. Some or the other speaker would be booming across the campus. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, so basically it's best of both the worlds. You get to party a lot as well. At the same time, you get to do a lot of constructive things which accelerate your career path. So
Yeah,
I
means
would say, yeah,
IIM
best of both
Bangalore
worlds.
is means I can interpret that IIM Bangalore is a combination of both party and career.
Yes.
Okay, and there was just a question from Neeraj. He's saying that are there any courses, free courses on Google on digital marketing? Do you have any idea?
Oh, I'm sure for sure they gotta be like, I don't think there is any domain for which we don't have free courses right now. Like and basically, I am also like a bit of finance inclined person. I also did my courses in finance. So for finance, I know, but digital market, I'm not aware of specific courses, but I'm sure there are a lot of courses. And the best part is a lot of websites provide, even if they are, let's say, paid, but they provide free subscription for, let's say, 30 days. So you can try and finish the course in 30 days and get the certification.
Yeah,
This
I mean,
was,
try
yeah.
out Coursera. Definitely try out Coursera. Fill the form for like you have to fill a form application where they give you the courses free if you cannot pay for it. So it happens that way. Fill it out. Otherwise, 30 days complete as many courses you want and take the certificate and get out. I mean, that can help if you're really looking for quality courses but free.
Yeah.
So, after talking with you, I think that you both are from finance background, right?
Yeah.
So
I
like
did consulting. Yeah, I did consulting in my past, but yeah, going forward, I'm
means
finance
right now in
inclined.
IIM Bangalore, you are in a finance background, right?
Yeah, I'm inclined towards finance
So is
now.
it like very difficult? Because I have heard that finance is actually difficult compared to operations and marketings and all. So can you just give an idea about finance?
To be very honest, it's very individualistic. Since my academic pedagogy has been, let's say, CA, CFA, CPA. So my life essentially, right, ever since my +1 has been around commerce and fin. So it has been very natural to me. While I agree, or maybe Anveshika can provide a perspective because she did engineering and then she's like, I must tell you, like she's super good at finance. So she can put perspective on that. But for let's say me as a commerce or a finance professional, it was very much natural. And I won't say it was that hard, but I can understand people from non-finance domain might have challenges. So Anveshika, do you wanna like share your perspective since you did engineering and then fin?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I mean, see, any course which you have no background about and you start from scratch does take time to build concepts. So by that, people often say it is difficult because most of the people pursuing CAT happen to be engineer. A lot of engineers write the exam and then they have to pursue finance and then it becomes tougher because again, you have no idea what it was. So for me, it took some time in the early days. Like when my job started, I worked in Goldman previous this where I got to like interact with finance and I started liking it. Like it's a very practical subject. If you look at it, to me, it's like maths. That is how it worked for me. So you have to dedicate time, but it's not like it is difficult than all the other fields. What happens essentially is you still have an idea of other fields a bit. Finance is something you do not have an idea. Maybe you have not worked on it. So for people who already have a background, as Krishna said, it comes naturally. For people who do not have a background, you might need to do a bit of more preliminary courses before you join college. But then again, I would say don't make up your mind beforehand. Do some preliminary courses. Let the college help you decide where you want to be. Because once you actually see, okay, this is the work, this is what I'll be going to do, it might be so that you do not want to work on that field, even though finance sounds very lucrative. So it's not very difficult as per se, but yes, you will have to give sincere time to understand it. It's like maths to me. That's all I can say.
Okay. So just wait for a few questions if students have any questions. Okay, so there's a question from a student that for consultancy do we need to have a specific background for consultancy?
No.
Yeah, even I would say no. And that's the best part about it. And in fact, you don't even need to have experience for consulting as well. As far as I know, firms tend to prefer freshers as well, because for let's say in consulting, for a person with a work ex, they'll have to make that person unlearn the concepts which he or she knows, and then learn consulting. But for fresher, it's very it's from the scratch. So the best part about consulting is you don't need to have any particular academic background, any particular professional background, any particular work background. You could be from any background, and you could be like at any stage of your career. It's a good starting point always. Anveshika, please, you can start.
Yeah, see, yeah, you can be, background doesn't matter. All that matters is whatever background you come from, you have done an honest job. That's it. Like it's a holistic profile that they're looking for. So I mean, focus on a lot of if you really are targeting consulting, then focus on a lot of different things. Sometimes they pick up the best, like even if you're the topper of the college and you've done nothing, they also get picked up. And a person who is an average but has done a lot of things in their life, they also get picked up. So they look for a mix of people. So make sure whatever you do, you're good at that. Baki to, yeah, it's there.
Okay, so any suggestions or your advice you want to give to the current CAT aspirants?
Yeah. So, Anveshika, please.
No, Vadva, continue.
No. So for CAT aspirants, as in for their interviews or for writing the CAT next year?
Like both, for CAT 2022 and also the CAT 2021 students who have right now their interviews going on.
Okay. For 2022 aspirants, one thing I would say is be consistent, please, because I don't think CAT requires a lot of hard work, but it requires smart work. As in, even if you put less amount of effort, but the effort is really quality and is consistent. Let's say, I don't know, CAT happens in November, and you start preparing from March, April, May, whatever, but every day, like without fail, every day, I believe that would be great and more than enough to crack CAT. Because that's my personal opinion. Consistency plays a big part, is one advice for CAT 22. Anveshika, for 22, you want to give some?
Yeah, agreed 100%. That is it. No matter what job you're doing, where you are, even if you decide to give 1 hour every day, give 1 hour every day. Aptitude, because aptitude is a big part of CAT, and even VARC is aptitude. If you really look at it, it's logical. So you will lose touch if you lose practice. So keep practicing, guys. Everybody does the same. Please do not. One thing I would say to everyone, and I say to everybody, is please do not just practice questions without timer. You are not doing yourself a justice. If you're just solving questions, anybody can solve a CAT paper in 1 day. That is not the point. So yeah,
like the timer is actually a big thing, because now they have reduced it to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for people who are sitting for interviews, one thing I would say is self-reflection. Be sure of whatever you have done in life, because it's very important. Sit and reflect back on your life. I'm sure like everyone, even I used to think, oh, I've not done anything. A lot of things which popped up when I, thought about, so please self-reflect. And secondly, practice as many interviews as you can with different people. It gives you different perspectives. Let's say sitting with friends, just have a discussion, family, or let's say the coaching institutes. It's very important. So practice as many interviews, but at the same time, let me assure you, on the D-Day, you must be ready for surprise, because the actual interview is going to be altogether different. It's not going to be like exact replica of whatever you have practiced. There gotta be some unique element about it. So be ready for surprise, but at the same time, practice as many interviews as you can, and self-reflection is two things which I would say.
To add to that, see, I like from all the advice that people give you, reading newspapers and like being updated, that is all good. You should do that. Apart from that, before your interview, like Vadva mostly covered it, before your interview, just have a sip of water, look at your form that you filled, see everything, and be prepared for questions on that. Smile. Just when you get inside, you should know that you know what you've written on your profile and you're confident about it. Be ready to say no, that I don't know this. Do not try to outsmart them. People are much more smarter who are sitting there. And so just be confident when, even if you know or don't know the answer, and just smile.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's the time we should wrap up the session now, and it was actually good to have you both, and we will plan more sessions with you in future also. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you,
Right.
Anvisha and
Likewise.
Krishna.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.